Hello my friends, what you're looking at here is some strawberries, and what I'm doing today is propagating them, getting more strawberry plants for free because they make runners and they start growing everywhere, so you got to deal with those. So yeah, let's talk some strawberries. It's one of my favorite things to grow, not because it does anything special, I just really enjoy eating them. And so far I haven't had all that great of luck getting them. This summer I got enough to make some jam, so I'm pretty happy with that, and I ate quite a few as I was picking them and checking on them every day. But yeah, so let's come along and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Basically taking these runners and planting them in little pots, and they'll create a whole new strawberry plant. I actually have enough pots. I have about 36, I think I counted. I have more runners than that actually I could plant, but I think that's enough to plant out another full 8x4 bed that I can cover easier with bird netting than this bed, because I have bushes, haskap berry bushes, honeyberries, also planted in here, so it makes it hard to cover it. And about this time last year it looked like this, and then the deer came in and ate it, so I got to keep it covered, and hopefully next spring they'll look better than they did this spring. And I got quite a few out of here, so hopefully next summer I'll get quite a few more. But there's basically two kinds of strawberries, to keep it simple. There's your indeterminate and determinate. That's what we call it here in North America, at least. I don't know what they call it elsewhere. First earlies, second earlies. Strange to me. But simply determinate means it's determined when it's going to fruit, and it usually fruits once a season. So these are all determinate variety of strawberry. These are the large, red, luscious, beautiful strawberries you see in the grocery store. Determinate variety tends to grow a larger fruit than the indeterminate, but like these are claimed to harvest in June. Mine aren't ready for a couple weeks into July. They are still producing because I live in north central Alberta, zone 3B or whatever, so basically everything's pushed back a few weeks because of the short season. But they produce well, and they'll only produce you one harvest basically. They'll produce for a few weeks while they're ripening. And the other variety, which I have over here, only have one plant, which is why the little trick I'm going to show you is important. The indeterminate variety simply means it's not determined when it's going to harvest, right? So it's going to continue to produce flowers, and if they get pollinated, then they'll produce fruit all season long. But the fruit, this is actually a fair size one, but they tend to be a little bit smaller than the determinate variety, right? But you'll get fruit all summer long. So there's two kinds of strawberries. There's actually more. There's all kinds of hybrids and different varieties you can get. But to keep things simple, there's basically the ones that will produce once, and then there's ones that will produce all season long, but they'll be smaller. But both plants produce runners, and they reproduce in two ways. They produce fruit, which has all the little seeds on it. You can see here. Well, maybe you can't, but everyone's seen a strawberry, all those little specks around on the sides of it. Those are the seeds. You can take those off and plant to plant in the house over winter, and then in the spring you have plants to put outside. You know, if you live somewhere you can't have a garden, you can only have containers. Strawberries are excellent for containers. And you can start with one plant. And they'll produce fruit, which will give you seeds to grow more plants if you like. And they'll produce these runners. And all along the runner, and this runner goes here, and produce little plants. And each one of these plants, once they're rooted, are basically a clone of this strawberry plant. Whereas the seeds will be a new plant because they've been pollinated and they contain DNA other than this plant, I believe. So what I've done here is just take cups, I use whatever little flower, you know, nursery cups or whatever. I always keep these. Anytime you see these or friends have them and they're going to toss them out, keep them. They're useful. Or you can go to Walmart or one of the dollar stores and get a big package of plastic drinking cups. What I've done here is drilled holes in the bottom. I stack a bunch together and drill holes through them all at once to save time. Just with a hand drill bit, and I think it's like maybe a good idea to drill more than one hole in them. This is for drainage. Strawberries like well-drained soil, loose soil. This is just my soil mix that I use for everything, filling in my beds. It's a pretty rough one. I didn't really break up the composted leaf and mulch, grass mulch. So that's like, you know, rotted down grass or whatever. But it's good enough. It'll break down more. They're only going to be in there temporary until they have roots, and then I'll plant them in the new bed once that's prepared. But yeah, so when you're putting these in here, these runners here, they continue to grow. So if you just sit it in the container, it kind of pops out and everything. Now, what I've done, the other ones I was showing you before, is I just cut 2 cuts in here to pull down a flap, so this will fit even with the soil. Or you could top, like overfill the cup, top it right to the top, but they tend to fall over and stuff. So you can cut a slit down and this will fit in there easily, or you can hold it in there with something. Now, I've used rocks. I put rocks in there. Actually, this cup doesn't have very much soil in there, but just sitting them in there like that, it's really easy to get knocked off. This keeps growing, so it'll move, right? It'll move out of place, but it doesn't take long. See on the bottom here, there's little nubby things right where my thumb is there. Right? Those nodes will grow roots. What I found real handy to hold these in there in place, I'll stab my finger with one. These are little clips, I guess. I don't know what their actual name is. It's for attaching barbed wire, fencing, putting up fence wire and barbed wire. But they're galvanized, so they shouldn't rust too much quickly. But you just set the plant in there. Push the little clip down. Now you can get a big bag of these things. The hardware store, they're pretty cheap. Like I said, it's for fencing. Or if you have a roll of wire that's not corrosive, or lead or something, you know, like aluminum wire, maybe some copper wire or something, you can cut a strip and then fold it over and make your own little clip. Or like I said, you could use rocks or cut a slit in the side. I'll show you both here that they both work. Oh, it's a wonky camera work. It's also very bright and I can't even see the screen. And here, this one's a good example of how they grow roots, right? So it's attached by the runner to the mother plant. It's like an umbilical cord, so it's receiving everything it needs through the stem, right? Which is why people recommend you cut these off, because it drains energy from your mother plant, right? And if it's reproducing with runners, it's not going to produce fruit. But it's late in the season, and this is a determinate variety that's already I've already harvested, so I have to cut these off anyways to clean up the bed, and they've grown all through this mesh here, so it's a mess. But yeah, here's the roots. So once they're in soil, this thing will take. So I simply just put it in. This one has roots already, so I'll dig a little hole in there. And with strawberries, it's important not to bury the little crown, the bulb where those roots are coming out of and the stems are coming out of, because they'll rot. But it's not going to be in here long. This is really loosely packed, and it's mostly organic material. It's my native soil, biochar, and leaf and grass mulch that's been sitting in a pile for a couple of years. But even if it's covering up that bulb a little bit, it won't be in there very long. So yeah, so what I've done here, whoops, I just kicked one over. These runners, they just grow everywhere. There's all kinds. Every one of these nodes here with leaves on it, you can plant them. See all along here I planted them all in here. They're all held in by these little clips. They haven't gone anywhere. Most of them are already rooted. But as you can see here, all I did was I put one rock underneath and then one rock on top to kind of leverage it down. And then a clip wasn't necessary, but it might still fall out of there. And like I said, these umbilical cords, these runners, they do move, and they're constantly growing and moving. So the clips are good. You just again, you just put the part where the nodes are. Let me get in here. I'm completely blind with the light. Hopefully, so yeah, it doesn't have to be in there super tight or anything, but it'll grow roots. And then back over here, this one here, all I did is come in, make 2 cuts. You want to make 2. If you make 1, you can bend it out and slip this in, but these edges are sharp and they'll cut off the circulation, right? These cups are multi-use, like they get brittle anyways and start cracking. Like here, this one's cracked on its own. I didn't do that. But if you do that, this comes in straight. I got nothing else holding that down. And I don't know how well you can see in there, but the reddish part right at the base there, that's the roots. They've taken hold. But yeah, that's real simple. You don't have nothing to hold it down. You don't even have rocks, or you don't want to fiddle with it. Just cut a slit. You know, doesn't have to be this wide. It could be as long as it's wider than the runner, and it's not going to slice it or cut it off. It works just great. And then from one, you just go to the next. Here I've used these clips. They're much quicker. Takes me minutes to. I did like 30 of them or whatever I said, right? But yeah, this is this little trick. Here I'm starting with one plant. These are the ones I really want because they'll produce all summer long. Whereas the other bed I have only makes one crop of strawberries. And I don't care how big they are or even what they look like, because I make jams and stuff. I'm going to eat them, so I'm not going to sell them to fancy restaurants or something. I'm just going to eat them. And I'd like to have them all summer long. So remember, there's determinate and indeterminate. So when you're buying or planting strawberries, or you know, getting a couple cups with runners in them from a friend or a neighbor, trust me, strawberries, there's an abundance. They come out. I have them growing in my walkways. They're everywhere. So you know, I'll get like 30 to 40 plants, and a lot of others will just go unused. I'll just cut them off, or they'll just hang over the sides and winter will kill them. But yeah, hopefully I didn't go on too much about strawberries. I sure do like them. This is a real easy trick from starting here, one plant. I got 3 others ready to go here, you know, and from the bed here, it's not even a full bed, and started off really poorly this season. I didn't even know if they'd survive because the deer ate them, like I said, last fall about this time. What is it today? It's like August 21st, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, late August. And yeah, I'm just putting strawberry runners into pots. Simple as this. Lay it on there. Oh, see, that one has like a little bit of a root growing out. You see that? Make a little pocket for it so you don't not squishing the root. Oh, not very good camera work again. It says very bright. But here, you get the idea, right? As long as the roots are held down and the thing's not going to move around, keep it watered, and shouldn't take more than a week to root it itself. Actually, probably only take a few days. They're pretty good at this. This is, like I said, how they reproduce. One of the ways. That and making fruit. So get yourself some free strawberries by filling a little thing of dirt. Make sure it's got holes in the bottom. You can use a hand drill if you're using cups, or you can just use these from the nursery. Already come with holes in the bottom. So yeah, there you go, strawberries. So I hope you're all growing something. Like I said, strawberries are great to grow. They'll grow in the house. They'll grow on your deck in a container too. And you don't need to go buy a whole bunch of strawberries. Like if you want to have a big bed full of strawberries, you only need a few plants. Or like I was saying there about my indeterminate variety, the ones that will go all summer long. I got one plant, but with the runners now I have three potted ones and the one in the ground. So one turned into 4. So I mean, if you had 4, you know, if you buy half a dozen strawberry plants at the nursery, you'll never have to buy any more. Not if you do this easy trick. And you're gonna have to do something with them anyways, right? They just grow everywhere. Here, I'll show you. They grew out into walkways. I'm digging up a bed here. Well, yeah, the runners just take root. You know, I'm going to dig these plants up too, because I'll have to dig this area up. And there's quite a few. These are from last year. These were mowed over. I didn't realize, you know, there were strawberries. I didn't see them, right? I mowed this area. So they're pretty resilient. easy to proliferate. And yeah, like I've said probably a dozen times, right? They sure taste good. So yeah, get yourself some strawberries. You can grow them anywhere. Grow them in your kitchen. Grow them on your deck. They're very good. Good for you. And all the ones in the store, they all sprayed with stuff to keep them red and fresh. So anything you can grow yourself, you know, it's a little bit like medicine, right? At least it's not bad for you. So, well, enough talking as always. I talk too much. So have yourselves a great day wherever you are, whenever you watch this. And thanks again, everyone. And remember, you are my friends. I don't have a whole bunch of subscribers, so pretty much I'm making these videos for you, right? But thanks a lot, and peace.